David is a child with an autism spectrum disorder. And for David, his interests and abilities were very narrow. Basically, he liked cars a lot and he liked food. And he definitely would focus his visual attention on car pictures in a newspaper. Typically, when I would be coming into his classroom, and he spent most of his day laying on the ground, it was hard to get him up. He was very motivated to get up to go eat, and he was independent in eating. Socially, he tolerated people being near him and motoring him through activities. And I came to find out that he knew a lot of names of cars and car dealerships. So what was I going to do with David? He had this goal to write his name, and he'd had this goal for 2 years. 0 progress. They could motor him through, but he really didn't put any effort into it at all. In fact, even picking up the pencil, he barely held it and then let it go. So what was I going to do to shape this activity? I considered a variety of possible modifications. If we could incorporate cars, for example, use pictures of cars, even better, because he's really interested in looking at them. Minimize the motor demands right now because he doesn't really have the motor skills yet. And I thought, well, if we could use car names that all have letters from his name, that would work towards gaining skills to use the letters in his own name. And I was just going to start on the floor or wherever he happened to be. So I created these laminated cards, cutting out pictures from the classified ads, and made sure that we had enough to have letters for all of the letters in his name. And I presented them to David. He was fascinated by these cards. In fact, the second time I came into his classroom, after having shown him these cards, as soon as I walked in, he got up from the floor and came to greet me. He was ready and interested.